So, leaders, what to do when you have a low performing employee? My name is Melissa. I'm an executive coach and a management consultant, and I work with leaders day in and day out who are leading people. Leading people is not easy. It's exciting to lead people until you realize that they may not be following. And low performers, disengaged employees, they show up in the best of teams and even in the under the best intentions leaders. So if you feel like you're doing everything and you're sacrificing yourself in the process and you're really trying, then I have something for you, because there's something that you might be missing. So today joining me is Kelsey Ann. Kelsey Ann is part of my team. Kelsey Ann, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm your director of operations, and I come on these lives and I schedule these lives so we can talk about issues that real leaders are facing and how to get through the muck. Sometimes that leadership kind of leaves us. And I'm here to offer that employee perspective.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you, Kelsey Ann, for coming and doing these lives with me and scheduling them and making sure they're in my calendar.
Definitely.
So, leadership, leading people. What is leadership?
Oh, goodness.
We all talk about leadership, but I
Always.
think, I love to take those moments of pause and reconnect with what is leadership.
I would say you stumped me this morning. I haven't had enough coffee. I would say it's about your relationships with your employees, right? Leadership's about relationships.
Absolutely. It's relational based, and it's really about inspiring and leading people towards the direction that we're all going. So creating that alignment, that desire to move in that direction, and bringing out the best in people. And that is not always easy when there's stress, when there's all kinds of pressure that you're feeling as a leader and that your team is feeling as well. And that leads us to situations in which we need to have conversations that are not comfortable, conversations that we want to avoid, problems we hope will just go away.
I'm seeing like the imagery of like a rug and this like little bump getting bigger and bigger as you're sweeping more things under the rug, right? Like, oh, well, that'll just deal with itself. And oh, we don't need to deal with that. But then this bump is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually you trip over it, right?
Eventually you trip over it. And even when it's seemingly not there anymore, it's always there until it's dealt with. So even though like, oh, I think we're past this hump, I think this has been solved, it's still there until we deal with it. But dealing with it, one, requires a lot of guts to have these conversations. You don't know where the conversations are going to go. You don't know how people are going to react. You don't know if this is going to lead to more disengagement. If I have this conversation, it feels like it's taken a lot of effort to get what we have now. I don't want to put too much pressure and lose them in the process. And these are all valid questions. These are all valid concerns. And what I want to offer you is an approach that will help answer these questions and make that conversation a whole lot easier. So Kelsey Ann, what do we have?
We have I just quickly want to say, anybody who's watching, if you have any questions, please drop them below. I can see somebody is watching us. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay. And yeah, we always come back to the questions that are left. And we have, da, 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 da.
Uh,
uh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna
I'm
say,
bursting out.
in a few weeks, in January 22nd to 26th, we are hosting the Influential Leader Workshop. So that's your signature workshop that we're hosting again. We usually do it a few times a year, and we're really excited to bring it to the leaders again.
Absolutely. So we've had over 500 people participate in this workshop. It's a 5-day workshop, 1 hour a day to make it super easy for you to join during your lunchtime, and you can get back to work without skipping a beat. And so you'll be taking the time for yourself to build up your skills, and you're going to be able to implement everything that you learn day to day to day. And I'm going to give you a blueprint, a roadmap on how to turn your lowest performing employee into rock stars in your team. And one of the things that I do really, really well when I coach teams and when I work with employees is those employees that seem to be giving the most resistance or seemingly difficult, those become my best allies. Those become my champions because of this approach that I'm going to be sharing with you over those 5 days. So there's 3 major parts that we're going to be covering during this workshop. One, we're going to be covering how to quickly identify signs of disengagement and how to stop them in their tracks. Because it is harder to repair disengagement than it is to maintain and keep engagement. And engagement is constantly going up and down. So if you don't have your finger on the pulse, you could be blind to issues that are coming up. So
Mhm.
this is about prevention. This first step is about prevention. And from there, we're going to be looking at how to assess your situation. So this is the second major thing that we're going to be covering is how to assess your situation. What is going on? What are you going to need to do? How much energy will you need to invest? And what is the potential of turning this around? You know, this is going to give you a good insight into like, am I overspending? Like, is
Mm.
this the time to let it go? Is there a different path? Or is there something I haven't tried yet? And sometimes it feels like we've tried everything, but there might be something. There
I
might
was
be.
gonna say, if you haven't come to the workshop, you can try that.
Exactly. And like I said, leaders come to this workshop, they start applying the steps from day 1. So you
Mm.
come an hour and you can start implementing right away. And by day 2, by day 3, we're already getting feedback on how some of those situations have turned around. All right. Didn't even complete the whole process. We're already seeing a change. So, and the third major thing that we're going to cover, and this is going to be big, it's the 3-step influence system. And that is going to help you pave the way so that you can have a conversation that feels good. It might be uncomfortable, but it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be hard. It's going to give you what you need. Your employee is going to feel supported, and you're going to create a win-win.
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to get your blueprint, your workbook. If you've ever participated with me, I love to give workbooks because I want you to build your plan as we're going. So you're going to be able to fill it in, fill your plan, but you're going to be able to rinse and repeat. You're going to be able to take that workbook and keep applying those same principles to situations as they arise. You're going to be able to prevent a lot of those situations by using the steps.
Mhm.
And you're going to be able to coach others. So if you are a leader of leaders and you have others that are going to be encountering those situations, you're going to be able to help them build those skills. And now we have a strong team and
Yes,
we
and
have
it's
strong leaders.
we do, and it's really exciting to hear feedback from those leaders that have attended previously, and they, were there on day one, they got that workbook, they worked the workbook, they, implemented what they were learning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and by Friday, they're like, "Oh my goodness." They've already seen results. They've already seen changes. Their team are saying, "You're doing things a little differently. I don't know exactly what it is." So people notice. They can't necessarily put their finger on it, but they notice the changes in you as a leader. And hearing that leaders, thought that they had to let somebody go, right? And a low performing team member, I think I'm going to have to, let this person go. And by the end of it, they're like, "You know what? We're not, like, we can work with this person," or vice versa. I'm this person's been hanging on, and they realize at the end of it they have to go. So
Yes.
it's really exciting to see.
That clarity
Yes,
and making the decisions
yes,
with confidence. Like I
exactly.
know for sure now with this new
Mhm.
approach and this new way of looking at my situation, what needs to happen.
Definitely, definitely.
And there's nothing that can replace clarity and confidence.
No,
There's no fake it till you make it. That's going to give you that.
yeah.
But when you feel confident and you can make a decision and you're not spending time second guessing or doubting or even guilting or shaming
Mhm,
yourself for it.
mhm. And a lot
There,
of a lot of leaders will come back, and they've told us they've come back to this workbook. They come back and they attend the workshop again because they found so much value in it the first time, but they use the workbook, and they use it when they're talking with their, middle management. They use it when they're talking with their team members. It is something that you can kind of bring back out and just refocus and see where you're at. And that is so exciting to know that that workbook is so useful, not just during the workshop, but all year round.
right? Yeah. I'm just thinking we need to give a link to register.
We
So how do you
do.
register? If you're listening right now and you're thinking, oh my God, I really want to get in on this. If
Yeah,
you're not currently dealing with a situation, so we've been talking a lot about like you're going to be applying it to your current situation. If you're not currently dealing with it, that's okay. You probably have in the past, and you can use the past situations as an example for you to think through and re-strategize how would you have dealt with that differently, and then you can bring those skills into the future to prevent, right?
absolutely.
Prevent and then know exactly what to do when the situation arises, if it arises. And I
Absolutely.
am a big fan of being proactive and preventing because we save ourselves a lot of time. And if we are increasing performance, if we're being proactive, we're increasing performance, then we don't have to clean up messes
Mm,
and we're getting better performance out of it. So it's a win-win
absolutely.
all around.
Absolutely.
So
So to
I'm excited.
join, yes, yes, I was just gonna say to join, I've just dropped a link below the video. You can, seats are limited, so sign up as soon as possible, and join us. It's going to be a lovely week of learning. Um, and I love how you've designed it so that it's, leaders can tune in on their lunch break. So it's not, you have to take a whole day off work and, be online. Not at all. It's one day or 1 hour a day for that week. And it's really exciting. Um, to hear the leaders, meet them and hear a little bit of their stories on day one, day two, but then by Friday, hearing those wins of how they've been implementing what they've
Yeah.
been learning and how their team is responding and how, that conversation that they really didn't want to have, they had it and it went well. And, they both left or they, the group left feeling good. And it's such a difference to what they're used to, what they did before coming to the workshop.
Yes. So the week of January 22nd, am I
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Come join us, register, it's completely free. It's our gift to you.
Yes.
And what we do internally is we book the whole week to dedicate to the workshop to completely support the participants for
Yeah.
free. This is our gift back to the community. Come and join us online, 1 hour a day, easy peasy, and you'll get a lot out of it.
You will, because you have access to an executive coach for that entire week. And I think that is something that leaders don't necessarily expect, is that, Melissa, you're reaching out behind the scenes, you're reaching out and you're talking to these leaders. So if they have, you know, issues or challenges behind the scenes, we can bring it up into the workshop and discuss it, of course, keeping confidentiality, of course.
Confidentiality.
Yes. But chances are, if you're a leader, other leaders are feeling those pains too, right? These are real situations that leaders are facing. So to be able to have that access to an executive coach behind the scenes through the process, I mean, the leaders that take advantage of that opportunity, the fact that I've blocked off Melissa's calendar for this entire week so that she can immerse herself into the leaders that are attending this workshop. It's amazing to see their wins by the end of it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
Excited.
Grab your seat. It's free. Register. Take
Yeah.
advantage. Invest in yourself. Make 2024 the best year. See you soon.